This is again another church going back to 500s after Christ, like the church in Thyatira and like the church in Sardis. Remember the small church in Sardis? So it was one of the major sized churches of that very period. That means 500s after Christ. It has, from where you look, one column here, another column in this excavational area, and the third column is supposed to be under the new apartment blocks in the distance. So it is much more bigger than you could really grasp and see right here. It is also speculated that during that period, which is around 500s or 532 after Christ, the big church in Constantinople is being built. Church of Hagia Sophia, remember, which is a highlight in the city of Istanbul today. And Church of Hagia Sophia, when it was complete, it was the biggest church of its time, with like 182 feet high all the way to the peak of the dome. So this church is not as big as Church of Hagia Sophia, which is the biggest church of the time, but comes pretty close to it, they say, if we could have seen it in the full size of it. Of course, Church of Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, the biggest church of its time, was much more different in terms of its architecture. It's circular, it has a huge dome, and so on and so forth, whereas this one was elongated, basilical style, and instead of a dome at the top, probably a slanted roof, but still the size of it is gigantic. What does that tell you? In the city of Philadelphia, as early as year 500, there was a very strong and a very crowded Christian community. The city might not be one of the most important, maybe, metropolises of Asia Minor, like that of Sardis, like that of Smyrna, like that of Pergamon that we're gonna see, because those were, or like Sardis, those are big metropolises. Maybe this is one step further down from those big cities, but the congregation was a big congregation. And out of 7 churches of Asia Minor, there are 2 cities, there are 2 churches that Christ would not speak anything negative about them. One of them is Smyrna, as we said it this morning, and the second one is Philadelphia. So those 2 church communities were really praised. A lot of the times, when you look at those letters, Jesus first, I don't know first or last, but Jesus will give them a compliment, but at the same time, Jesus will be very critical of them. It goes both ways. But in the case of Philadelphia and Smyrna, none of this criticism. Interesting, huh? And I sometimes wonder when it says, you know, this letter goes to the angel of the church in Philadelphia, angel of the church in Sardis, and this and that. Who are those angels? Are they the priests or are they the whole congregation?
It's a very good question, and you're not going to get a straight answer on it from any commentator who looks